Australian police investigating the disappearance of 4-year-old Gus Lamont have moved their search to another family property in the state's mid-north.
And a new homestead and shearing shed is being searched, this time several kilometres from the property near Yunta, where the little boy was last seen almost 5 months ago. These properties are owned by a family of Gus Lamont too, but are several k's away from the family homestead.
Do you remember 2 weeks ago when the cops declared one of Gus's relatives a suspect? Both grandparents, presumably the suspect and another individual, the other individual not considered a suspect, lawyered up. It was natural then to assume that since both grandparents lawyered up, neither were cooperating. But if you examine the reporting more closely, what was said was that the suspect, singular, was not cooperating.
We've identified a number of inconsistencies and discrepancies with that information as it relates to timelines and the versions of events provided to us by the family members. As a result of these inconsistencies and investigations into them, a person who resides at Oak Park Station has withdrawn their support for the police and is no longer cooperating with us.
Now, I'm not sure how good your English aptitude is, but to me that sounds very much like a person is one human being, not more than one, right? So it was interesting to observe one of the grandparents apparently chaperoning law enforcement at one point on the property. And so the question arose, could one grandparent be cooperating? Also, if one grandparent wasn't in the picture, could the other assist the police? According to the Daily Mail, another family member of missing boy Gus Lamont is no longer cooperating with authorities as the 5-month investigation into the 4-year-old's disappearance widens. While Gus's parents continue to assist the police, 2 relatives previously involved in the inquiry are no longer cooperating. That is according to South Australia Police Commissioner Grant Stevens. He confirmed that on Wednesday.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear thoughts build up until I can't. My mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear.
Well, that appears to clarify things, doesn't it? Now, if we go back to the article, he says, I think the head of major crime made it pretty clear at his recent press conference that 2 family members have withdrawn their cooperation, but we are still getting significant assistance from Gus's mum and dad. Well, listen to this.
The person who has withdrawn their cooperation is now considered a suspect.
So obviously it's because of these cryptic references that it can get confusing. So when he says the person that has withdrawn their cooperation is now a suspect, well, if the other one has also withdrawn their cooperation, is the other one a suspect as well? Do we have one suspect here or 2? And so the same article by the Daily Mail correctly states, previously police had said only one relative had withdrawn their support. It was not clear whether Commissioner Stevens misspoke. Well, he didn't seem to misspeak when he spoke, did he?
A cadaver dog specialised in detecting human remains driven over from New South Wales is here to help sniff out any sign of the 4-year-old. The National Park at the back of the Yunta property also searched too. They declared Gus's case a major crime almost 2 weeks ago and revealed they had a suspect. This comes after the arrest of Gus's grandparent Josie Murray yesterday on firearms offences, charges not linked to Gus's disappearance.
From this footage from 7 News, we are also getting a better idea of what the cadaver dog search looks like and the sort of terrain and properties that were searched. It appears the media were invited to cover these searches, albeit from a distance. The South Australia Police also provided some of their own photos of the search, such as these. Looks like an area of eroded earth that the dog is searching in that photo. By the way, this picture, which is not very clear, actually shows where the new cement was laid, where that sort of corrugated iron hut appears to be. That's sort of the area where the new cement was laid. Now, one of the trickiest aspects in a missing persons case, I mean, one dealing with a search for human remains, is the possibility that you either search a particular area and miss something, and then you sort of scratch that area off the list, and then you never return to it again. Well, then you're not going to find what you're looking for if you've missed something. Or you search a particular area and then the cadaver is then moved back into this excluded area. You're also not going to have a successful search under those circumstances. Now, in the Eugene Zapata case, cadaver dogs alerted all over the place, which led police to suspect that the dogs were issuing false alerts, because they'd alert in a container, they'd alert, I think, in the basement of a house, I think in a car as well. And so they thought, well, this can't be right. When the case was eventually solved and the suspect confessed, he indicated that human remains had been moved several times, which confirmed that those alerts had been right all along. In this case, as far as we know, there haven't been any alerts. While holes in the ground, excavations and disturbances in the soil are one possible indication, one possible sign or symptom of human remains being placed somewhere. We saw in the Patrick Frazee case in Colorado that a body was burned to virtually nothing. All that remained was a congealed substance that was later covered in dirt, and the tiniest fragment of a tooth was discovered when a final bucket of dirt was placed through a sieve. That also took place on a rural property, a farm. So that is another way that a body can, that some people have attempted to get rid of a body, is through incineration. That also happened on a farm, which is where someone has a lot of privacy and security in terms of the rural nature of the property to sort of do things without being seen. And so the question is, what happened on this particular property? Anyway, I'm not going to take it further than that. The search for Gus continues, and I'll continue monitoring the situation for any further developments. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.